What's up, it's your boy Aux Heat Wes here with some life advice. And in one of my life advice things, I will say how most advice is not needed by you or anyone. But I'm gonna say I'll basically say the top 3 pieces of advice that I have in this current point in time, June 2021. Sorry about that. The first piece of advice I have is about how people you like probably like people that you don't like. The second piece of advice will be how what you do every day, what you practice, is eventually what you get good at. I hope this guy goes. I don't know why you stopped and then saw me stop and then still waited. Obviously, he wasn't practicing good driving skills. And lastly, I'm going to talk about how advice in general doesn't even apply to you. You have to be very specific with the advice you go seek out. So first things first, someone you like is probably going to like someone you don't like. This is probably one of the most frustrating things I ever experienced in my life. I mean, as you become a young adult, you start getting interested in people, dating, wanting to form long-term relationships. And I can't tell you how many times I was interested in a girl and I found out that she either was talking or had talked to or had even been in an interrelationship with a guy that I think is simply deplorable. And it's so funny. Like, you have to get over this thing very early on if you want to make any headway in your interpersonal relationships in society. Obviously, there's people who appreciate being lonely, solo flyer, guys who are like, I don't need girls, or like, I would like girls, but most of the girls in the world are like trash or whatever. Listen, man, it's unfortunate, but a guy you really dislike probably put his penis inside a girl that you really like, and she probably appreciated it to some extent, or maybe she regretted it, but it happened. So it's one of those things that you just have to like, what am I? I'm just a little, I'm just a soul trying to evolve in a world of ever-changing energy patterns. Shout out Yana for that lyric quote over there. So that's first things first, man. Listen, in life, people are gonna like people that you don't like, and you are just gonna be one of the many dots in their life of people who other people don't like. So first things first, right? Secondly, dude, what you practice is what you become. And this applies to pretty much everything you do. That's why they say habits are powerful. That's why addiction is powerful, because it's just compound interest. This is the whole idea of compound interest as well. It's like if you get paid something consistently every day, it adds up to a lot over time. It's more to do with percentages, but I think you get the point, right? If you practice at playing let's say soccer or hockey for a bulk of your youth, and in this case I mean like youth as in from 9 till about 18, it's a good amount of time to practice something. You become really good at it. And the problem that can arise is if you practice something incorrectly and over time you keep doing something that is not effective, you do end up learning how to be really good at the wrong way of doing something. So I think also within that, always switching it up, being adaptable with the things that you practice, but as long as it's always like facing a specific direction. With me personally, I started music production specifically around about when I was 16. That's about right. But I always was interested in music. I started writing poems and song lyrics way young, way when I was still you could say 8, 9, 10, 11. I was already in the practice of it. I didn't particularly like writing or like essay writing or things like that, but I did enjoy putting my ideas down, lyric ideas, song ideas, ideas. I did enjoy that. So those were kind of the things that I worked on, and so I consider myself to be really good at it now. I have an idea of what makes good entertainment personally for myself, and then through that lens of making myself entertained, I think I know what gets other people going as well. And finally, finally, the most vital thing I think you can ever know in your life is that don't go seeking advice or people's opinions. I think what you really need to do is firstly search within to know what you feel is your purpose, your drive, your why, as Simon Sinek often talks about. What is your real motivation behind doing things? I think if you go internally and actually see, what pushes you towards certain things, it often is some sort of formative experience or trauma or something that you are trying to course correct over the journey in your life. Once you found that, I think that's all you really need to assess and address when you're moving forward with any sort of endeavor. You mainly want to learn processes rather than receive general overarching advice. You want to, let's say music production, which is something very specific to my life. I would search, how do I mix rap vocals? And you would have a whole bunch of people tell you a whole bunch of ways of mixing rap vocals. And then what you would do is then you would practice it, and then you would put it against your why. Like, why would I want a really crunchy, a compressed vocal, or a loud tone, or those kind of catchphrases? You would go through it and be like, does this address my why? Is this effect that I've learned serving my main motivation? And if it is, then you keep it, and you keep finding more ways to tweak it and interface with it. And if it doesn't, you throw it out. So I would say final thing is knowing that you don't actually need advice per se. You just need processes and information to then match against your own values and ideas and thoughts, and move forward from there. So a brief recap is that people you like are probably gonna like people you don't like, and you just have to accept that. Obviously, if you're in what could be a considerably long relationship, I'm thinking more of romantic and a long-term relationship in the sense of life partner type relationships, you would obviously have to go and speak to that person about why you dislike that person. Then they have to assess, okay, this is the reason why. And if they don't deem your reasoning to be powerful enough, and you still respect them and respect their decisions, and you still want to make that relationship work, then you just have to accept that, wow, okay, they like someone I don't like. And obviously everyone has their own personal preferences, even someone that you're very closely involved with. Secondly, practice makes you, I think the exact quote is, perfect practice makes perfect. So if anything, what you'd want to do is have deliberate actions, slow, methodical actions first as you initialize what you're trying to achieve, and then as you get more comfortable with the process and how you perform certain acts, then you increase the pace, increase the speed, and then vary it slightly to kind of improve your understanding of what you're trying to achieve. And then finally, not all advice is for everyone, so you have to be very calculated in the type of advice that you allow in your brain and you interface with. And once you've gotten the nugget of gold out of that, you need to make it very specific to you and attached to you, rather than just try and shoehorn your life into someone else's experience. That's been your boy Aux Heat Wes. I love and appreciate you, and I hope you have a good one. Shout out.